Hello class, today is our 15th meeting for Structure 3 and today is also our first meeting after you have had your midterm tests. I do really hope that all of you still in a good shape, healthy, and I know that it is quite hard to learn online learning through this pandemic. You can also try to understand what we have been learning. So let's see, what is the topic of meeting 15th of today's meeting? We learn about verb ing. Actually, verb ing is our previous meeting. I just want to review for a while. If you still remember what we have been learning for verb ing before the midterm test, verb ing is just like the two verbs. When there are two verbs in one sentence, the second verb tend to be in gerund, tend to be in verb ing. For example, like I enjoy dancing, I enjoy as the first verb and then dance as the second verb. Dance will become dancing. And then they avoid meeting their manager, and also she doesn't mind borrowing me her car. So these are all sentences contain of two verbs in one sentence, and then the second verb tend to transform into gerund form or ing form. She always practicing singing in the bathroom. So today's material we learn about verb 2. Verb 2 as well as verb ing, it also has the same uses, same in the form like some of the verbs when they are followed by another verb, the first verb will be followed by to. Verb plus to infinitive. Meanwhile, from the previous slide about verb ing, it also has the same use, which means that if there are two verbs in one sentence, the second verb tends to change into ing form or gerund. This one, verb 2, there are also two verbs in one sentence, but these verbs will tend to change the second verb with the use of to infinitive. So there is the use of to plus the base or the basic form of the verb. For example, reviews and dance. There are two verbs over here, and then you need to plus to between the verbs, between the first verb and the second verb. We fail to continue to the next step. Did he manage to escape from the house? She agrees not to join into the committee. So if you pay attention here, all of the patterns have the use of to infinitive. To put into between the first verb and second verb. So there is no use of verb ing again. How to see? Actually, the difference between verb 2 and verb ing, it's differentiated from the use of the verbs. This is the list of the verbs. Over, agree, refuse, decide, plan, answer, threaten. So these are all the verbs that we tend to use to infinitive if there are two verbs in one sentence. Meanwhile, this one, stop, delay, fancy, consider, until, practice, this one belongs to verb ing. So this list of verbs belongs to verb ing, which means that we have to change the second verb into verb ing, while the above verbs is the one that we have to change into to infinitive. You cannot use this for verb 2. Next, we have also some other verbs seem, appear, tend, pretend, and claim, which also use verb to. He seems to be angry. We pretended not to see the incident. Blah blah blah. Verb 2. The patterns. We have the verbs here. It also can be in the form of continuous infinitive and also perfect infinitive. For this, the verbs that I try to make it separated from the other verbs, because this one can be also in the form of continuous infinitive and also perfect infinitive. For example, we pretended to have seen the report. If you pay attention here, pretended comes from here, and then I use to infinitive, but then to plus the perfect infinitive, so you use have, and after that the verb you change into verb 3. As well as this one, she appeared to be teaching in the class. Appear, I get it from here, I get it from here, and then to followed by be, and then followed by the gerund for the second verb. This one belongs to continuous infinitive. There is also another verb that seems to be quite different or quite separated with the common use of verb 2. Dare. She dares to see me. She daren't see me. She dares see me. Well, if you pay attention here, the first one here, she dares to see me, it's with the use of to or to infinitive here. So to followed by to infinitive. Meanwhile here, without to, it is used without using to. She dares see me. However, this is in the positive pattern, right? In the negative pattern, you cannot use to, so it should be without to. She daren't see me. So in conclusion, for the verb dare, you can either use with to or without to in the sentence. It's your option. But in negative pattern, you cannot use to. It should be without to. Now let's see for the patterns. There is subject plus first verb plus to plus blah 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 second verb. This second verb should be in the best form, okay? And then for next one, subject plus first verb plus not to second verb. Auxiliary plus subject plus first verb plus to plus second verb. This one positive, negative, and interrogative. Please pay attention again to the negative one. The negative, not you do not put it after the subject and you put the auxiliary, no, but you put it after the first verb. It is the same pattern with what you have learned in the reported speech. When you try to report by using not, like don't go away, so you will write down in the reported speech become he asked me not to go away. So it is almost quite the same. However, this one is the use in the verb 2. Example, he manages to escape from the house. The second one, he manages not to escape from the house. You see, we do not say he does not manage to escape. Though actually I have also heard this one, and sometimes maybe you have heard some people using this kind of pattern, and I don't think that we can say it is wrong because it sounds normal, but because you have been learning structure and that it's supposed to be the correct one should be like this. He manages not to escape from the house. Then the interrogative, you will have does he manage to escape from the house? Another pattern, another examples. She would hope her friend to join into the committee. She would hope her friend not to join into the committee. Would she hope her friend to join into the committee? Mm, for this one, I got a point saying that if there is modal, you can use she wouldn't hope her friend to join into the committee. But from the source I got, for the negative, even though you are using modals, the pattern should be like this. Please tell me if you have got another source saying that if there is a modal here, you can use would not instead of using not to after the first verb. And this one, if you see this one, I put her friend here. This one is object, and it is quite different for the pattern, which means that this one subject plus modals plus first verb, and then plus object, and then plus the second verb or to infinitive. Verbs, this one, verb 2, also may be followed by the question words like ask, decide, how, until, teach, plus what, whether, how, where, etc., as long that they belong to question words. For example, the students ask when to start. You see, when is the question word, and then plus another verb. Ask belong to here. The teacher showed the students how to do the experiment. We wonder where to go after this. Well, if you see the list of the verbs over here, there are some verbs that I underline it, ask, show, tell, advise, and teach. It means that they can be added with object. Here, the teacher showed the students how to do the experiment. So over here belongs to here, and then I add the object after the first verb, and then after that followed by the question words, and then the second verb or to infinitive. Meanwhile, for the other verbs that I do not underline, it means that they just can use normally. You cannot plus object. Like this one, we wonder where to go after this. You cannot plus object over here. Like this sentence, the students asked when to start. This one, I can plus object. Let's say, for example, the students asked the teacher when to start. Or I just can omit the teacher, and it is the same. So this is the end for our meeting today. As usual, I do hope that you can understand by watching this video. Thank you very much for your attention, and goodbye.